The wind howled through the trees, a haunting melody that echoed the whispers of the past. Nestled deep within the woods, the old Ravenwood Asylum stood as a silent sentinel, its crumbling walls a testament to the horrors that had once taken place within. Many dared not venture near. But for a group of curious friends, the allure of the unknown was too strong to resist.
It was a chilly October evening when Jenna, Mark, Sarah and Tom decided to explore the infamous asylum. They had heard the stories, patients who had vanished without a trace, experiments that had gone horribly wrong, and the lingering spirits of those who had suffered within its walls. Armed with flashlights and a sense of bravado, they approached the rusted gates, their hearts pounding in anticipation.
Are we really doing this?
Come on, it's just an old building. What's the worst that could happen?
As they entered the asylum, the air grew heavy with the scent of decay. The floorboards creaked under their weight, and shadows danced in the corners of their flashlights. The group made their way through the dilapidated hallways. The walls adorned with peeling paint and remnants of a long-forgotten past.
In one of the first rooms they entered, they found a dusty journal lying on a rusted metal bed. The leather cover was cracked, and the pages were yellowed with age. Jenna picked it up, her fingers brushing over the faded ink. It's a patient's journal. It belonged to someone named Elizabeth.
As Jenna read aloud, the chilling words painted a picture of despair. Elizabeth wrote about the treatment she endured. Ice baths, electric shocks, and the constant feeling of being watched.
They're coming for me. I can hear them whispering in the dark. I must hide.
Let's keep looking.
They pressed on, the journal clutched tightly in Jenna's hands. As they ventured deeper, the atmosphere grew heavier. The walls seemed to close in around them, and the air crackled with an unsettling energy. They stumbled upon a room filled with old medical equipment, rusty scalpels, broken restraints, and faded photographs of patients with hollow eyes.
Look at this.
Sarah pointed to a photo of a woman who bore a striking resemblance to Elizabeth.
What happened to her?
Before anyone could answer, a loud bang echoed through the hallway. The group jumped, their hearts racing.
It's just the wind.
Though he didn't sound convinced. They continued their exploration, but the sense of dread was palpable. As they turned a corner, they found a staircase leading down to the basement. The air grew colder, and a feeling of foreboding washed over them.
Should we go down?
Absolutely. We need to see what's down there.
The basement was dark, the only light coming from their flashlights. As they descended, they could hear the faint sound of dripping water, and something else, a low, rhythmic thumping that seemed to pulse through the walls.
What is that?
I don't know, but we have to find out.
They reached the bottom and found themselves in a large room filled with old filing cabinets and a single flickering light bulb overhead. As they rummaged through the cabinets, they uncovered files on patients, each one more disturbing than the last. There were accounts of cruel experiments, patients deemed unfit who were never seen again, and notes scribbled in the margins that hinted at something sinister.
Look at this.
Mark said, pulling out a file labeled Subject 47. The notes detailed a patient who had been subjected to extreme isolation and psychological torment. The last entry read, Subject 47 has become unstable. recommend termination. Suddenly, the rhythmic thumping grew louder, reverberating through the room. The friends exchanged terrified glances, the realization dawning on them that they were not alone. Without warning, the lights flickered and went out, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled for their flashlights, their beams cutting through the blackness.
Stay close! We need to get out of here!
But as they turned to leave, a figure emerged from the shadows. A woman, her face pale and gaunt, her eyes wide with terror. It was Elizabeth.
Help me, they won't let me go.
The friends froze, fear gripping their hearts.
What do you mean?
They're coming for you too. You must leave before it's too late.
The thumping intensified, now sounding like footsteps approaching. The friends turned to run, but the door slammed shut, trapping them inside.
Find a way out!
Mark yelled, panic rising in his voice. They frantically searched for another exit, but the walls seemed to close in around them. Elizabeth's figure flickered like a candle in the wind, her presence both comforting and terrifying.
Follow me.
She urged, leading them to a hidden door behind a filing cabinet. They pushed it open and stumbled into a narrow corridor, the air thick with dust and despair. As they raced down the hallway, the thumping grew louder, echoing like a heartbeat. They could feel the cold breath of something sinister on their necks, urging them to run faster. Finally, they reached a staircase leading back up to the main floor. They burst through the door, the light of the setting sun spilling into the asylum. But as they turned to look back, Elizabeth stood at the entrance, her face a mask of sorrow.
Don't forget me.
She whispered before fading into the shadows. The friends stumbled out of the asylum, gasping for breath, their hearts racing. They looked back at the crumbling building, now just a silhouette against the twilight sky. The secrets of Ravenwood Asylum would remain buried, but the memory of Elizabeth would haunt them forever. As they drove away, Jenna clutched the journal tightly, knowing they had uncovered a dark truth that would never let them go. The asylum's whispers would echo in their minds, a reminder of the horrors that lingered within its forgotten walls.